While the United States is focused on President Trump's inauguration ceremony and starting their government's changing of hands, Canadians are taking a sigh of relief. The foretold 25% tariffs on Canadian exports were not part of Trump's day one executive orders, but that doesn't mean our economy is in the clear just yet. Tessa Bennett joins us with more. Tessa, what might be Trump's next move for Canada?
Manisa, while the tariff order was not carried out today, President Trump's administration will be working to reevaluate the trade partnership between our two countries.
I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
The day Canada has been bracing for is here. Donald Trump has been inaugurated as president and is busy signing his first executive orders. Canada's still shaky Liberal government has been anticipating the introduction of harmful tariffs on exports heading down south. Trump had pledged 10% tariffs on global imports, 60% on Chinese materials, and 25% on Canadian and Mexican goods. But U.S. federal agencies have reportedly been instructed to reevaluate the country's trade relationships, stopping short of an immediate order to enact economic measures. Trump instead aims to overhaul the trade system to fix what he has identified as trade deficits, so the Canadian economy is getting a break for now.
The government has to continue to evaluate its response and be prepared for any kind of tariff coming down the road. So at this point, there's a sigh of relief in Ottawa, but it's far from over.
Federal officials have met with premiers to craft a response plan and are adamant that Canada will respond with retaliatory measures of some kind.
We'll continue to roll up our sleeves, and for all those watching us right now, what is really, really important is we need to continue to be Team Canada, and we need to be united.
Premiers remain at odds about what should be on the negotiating table when the economic measures do come into play, with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith refusing to allow an export ban on Albertan oil. Smith, who attended the inauguration, called for the government to cease their talks of retaliatory tactics in a post online.
When you look at the trade deficit with the United States, a good portion of that has, in terms of our exports, is oil and gas. From that perspective, it's hard to imagine, if you're talking about overall trade, that you would be able to take energy off the table.
Political scientist Donald Abelson says decreasing Canada's reliance on the U.S. by diversifying our trade partners could lessen the impact of tariffs without cutting off oil and energy exports entirely.
So this is not something that we want to see, but this is one of the options the Canadian government has to continue to pursue, which is finding other markets for our products.
Justin Trudeau reiterated the strong relationship the two countries have while congratulating the new president, saying in part, Canada and the United States have the world's most successful economic partnership. Trudeau remains in power while his party searches for its next leader. Former Deputy PM Chrystia Freeland launched her campaign officially over the weekend, telling Canadians more about how she might respond to economic force from the States.
Now is the moment to stand up and fight for Canada.
House Leader Karina Gould also announced her candidacy. The Prime Minister is in Quebec for a Liberal cabinet retreat, where he says his team will focus on how to defend Canadian interests as President Trump continues to carry out his orders.